Hello guys, it's me again, Clang, and welcome to another episode of Miss Billian's Classroom. Today we are on our second activity of our lesson for potential and kinetic energy. For our first activity, you did a puzzle activity wherein you watch videos and answer questions in between the videos. So now we are going to have a simple discussion about what potential and kinetic energy is. Are you ready? I hope you prepare your notebook and pen with you. At the end of the lesson, I will be showing a short video from BrainPop and we are going to have a simple quiz. So I want you to listen carefully and take some notes in your notebook. So let's go. What is energy? Energy is the ability to do work. Anything that does work requires energy. Everything that happens in the world uses energy. Even you walk, you need energy. The computer that you are using now, it needs energy. The television that you are watching, it needs energy. The phone that you are using every day, it needs energy. Most of the time, we can't see energy, but it is everywhere around us. Let's have an example. But before that, energy is never created nor destroyed. It can only be stored or transferred from one form to another. And that is what we call the law of conservation of energy. Let's have the examples. So these are batteries that stores energy. That is considered chemical energy. In here, this car uses a lot of energy. The fuel that the car is using, that is the source of energy. The food we eat, that is our source of energy. Even this sleeping puppy is using stored energy. Remember, all matter is made up of particles. The particles never stop moving. So even if you think they're not moving and they are solid and they are compressed, they are still moving. They are just vibrating. The molecules or the particles are just vibrating. Vibration is still moving. How is all energy divided? All energy could be potential energy and kinetic energy. What is potential energy? The energy stored in an object. Potential simply means the energy has the ability to do something useful later on. Potential energy is energy in position. Example of this potential energy is the elastic or a stretch rubber band, water at the top of the waterfall, yo-yo held in your hand, a drawn bow and arrow. Take note of the situation. For the potential energy, first example, stretch a rubber band. They are only stretched, all right? And for the water, it is on the top of the waterfall. We are not mentioning here the water falls on the waterfall. It's just the water on top of the waterfall. And the yo-yo held in your hand, it is not pulled away yet. And then a drawn bow and arrow. So as you try to notice, they are just in a position. So this is what we call stored energy. The higher an object, the more potential energy. The more mass of an object has, the more potential energy it has. So, say for example, in the yo-yo, if the yo-yo is on the top, they have higher potential energy. But once it goes down, it has lower potential energy. And for the second statement, the more mass an object has, the more potential energy it has. So, say for example, a truck and a car. The truck has greater potential energy since it has more mass compared to the car. So, based from this example, which object has more potential energy? Let us see if you were right. Very good. This brick has more mass than the feather, therefore, more potential energy. How about this one? Changing an object's height can change its potential energy. If I want to drop an apple from the top of one of these three things, where will be the most potential energy? Very good. Option letter A. The higher the object, the more potential energy. Potential energy converted to kinetic energy. When stored energy begins to move, the object now transfer from potential energy to kinetic energy. Because like what I've said, potential energy is energy in position. So again, once this object starts to move, the energy is being transferred from potential energy to kinetic energy. So, what is kinetic energy? The energy of a moving object. So, kinetic energy is energy in motion. So, kinetic means movement. Anything that is moving, it has energy. When stored energy is being used up, it is making things move or happen. Examples of kinetic energy are snowboarding, running, motorcycling, or even when you slip on water. Anything that is moving, that is kinetic energy. The faster the object moves, the more kinetic energy is produced. So, say for example, this animal, it moves so fast, meaning the kinetic energy that is being produced is a lot. The greater the mass, the speed of an object, the more kinetic energy there will be. So when these objects move at the same speed, which will have more kinetic energy? Very good. The semi-truck has more mass, therefore more kinetic energy. An object has the most kinetic energy when its movement is the greatest. When an object has the least potential energy, it has the most kinetic energy. Again, I want to emphasize this one. When an object has the least potential energy, it has the most kinetic energy. A water bottle is knocked off a desk. When does the bottle have the most kinetic energy? A, at the top of the fall, B, in the middle of the fall, C, at the bottom of the fall. Yes, it is letter C, at the bottom of the fall. Why? It has the most kinetic energy when its movement and speed are greatest, which is at the bottom of the fall right before it hits the ground. When an object has the least potential energy, it is when it has the most kinetic energy. All right, let us watch this simple movie from BrainPop.
Dear Tim and Moby, why is kinetic energy important? From Melissa. Well, energy lets us do everything from running a mile to typing on a computer. When an object has energy, it has the ability to cause change. Kinetic energy and potential energy are the two types of energy that relate to motion. Potential energy is stored energy that increases or decreases depending upon an object's position and condition. Moby and I store up more potential energy the higher we go on this ski lift. Kinetic energy is the energy that an object has because of its motion. If it isn't moving, it doesn't have kinetic energy. Right about now, our potential energy is being transferred into kinetic energy. The amount of kinetic energy that an object has depends on its mass and speed. A fast-moving object with a lot of mass will have a lot of kinetic energy. Moby and that snow tractor are moving at the same speed, but the tractor is way bigger, so it has much more kinetic energy. Even if Moby was skiing as fast as he could, he would still have less kinetic energy because the tractor is so massive. Two snow tractors are a different story. Tractor number 1 is moving at 40 kilometers per hour, and tractor number 2 is moving at 30 kilometers per hour. Tractor number 1 has the greater speed, and that means more kinetic energy. Another cool thing about kinetic energy is that it can be transferred from one object to another when the objects collide. Moby's bowling ball only hit one pin, but they all fell down. The kinetic energy transferred from the ball to the pin that was struck and to all the other pins in a domino effect. What's kinetic energy good for? Well, besides being the reason why even you can bowl a strike, kinetic energy can be transformed to give us electricity. This dam makes electricity using running water. Moving water spins the generator's turbines, turning kinetic energy into electricity. Well, technically speaking, energy doesn't really run out. Energy is transferred and stored, but it can't be created or destroyed. All of the energy in the universe is here to stay. What? No, I don't think you should do that. Okay, I think it's time to use up some of our potential energy to create some kinetic energy and run away.
There you have it. So we are now going to move on with the quiz. Are you ready? Let's go to the quiz. We'll just review, okay? Kinetic and potential energy are the two types of energy that relate to A. Change, B. Friction, C. Density, D. Motion. Did you say motion? Let us see. Correct. Second question. Which of these has the most potential energy? Did you say C? Correct. Remember, the greater the object, the more kinetic energy, or the more potential energy. What is potential energy? A. Stored energy of an object due to its position or condition. B. The energy that an object has due to its motion. C. The energy an object has due to its speed. D. The energy an object has due to its volume. Did you say letter A? Let us see. Correct. Number 4. What is kinetic energy? A. The stored energy of an object due to its position or condition. B. The energy that an object has due to its motion. C. The energy an object has due to its existence. And D. The energy an object has due to its volume. Did you say letter B? Let us try. Correct. Number 5. Which passenger has the most potential energy? A, B, C, or D? Did you say letter D? Let us try. Correct. Remember, the higher the object is, the more potential energy. Number 6. The amount of kinetic energy an object has depends on A. Mass and volume, B. Volume and friction, C. Mass and speed, D. Speed and density. Did you say mass and volume? Let us check. That is wrong. What else? Did you say letter C? Mass and speed? Correct. Mass and speed or velocity. Number 7. Which of the following has the most kinetic energy? A car traveling at 80 kilometers per hour. B, a tractor trailer traveling at 80 kilometers per hour. C, a cheetah running at 80 kilometers per hour. And D, a motorcycle traveling at 80 kilometers per hour. Did you say letter B? Correct. A tractor is heavier than a cheetah. Even the cheetah moves fastest. The tractor has greater mass compared to cheetah. When is kinetic energy transferred from object to object? A. When those objects passes one another. B. When the first object outweighs the second object. C. When the first object has more potential energy than the second object. And D. When those objects collide. Did you say letter B? Let us try. That is wrong. Let us see if you say C. That is wrong. How about A? Let us try. That is wrong. So the correct answer is when those objects collide. When two objects collide, there is a transfer of energy. Number 9. In a generator, kinetic energy is transformed into A. Motion, B. Potential energy, C. Electricity, D. Solar energy. Did you say letter C, electricity? Let us try. Correct. Question number 10. There is a finite amount of energy in the universe. What does this mean? A. Energy is created and destroyed all the time. B. There is limited amount of energy in the universe. C. Stars generate most of energy in the universe. And D. Dark matter absorbs most of the energy in the universe. Did you say letter B? Let us see. Correct. Good job, guys. Today we are going back to our presentation. So let us talk about the roller coasters. So when does the train on this roller coaster have the most potential energy? We have shown this in our first video in the Ed Puzzle. Let us see if you still remember. A, at the very top. Yes, the higher the train is lifted by the motor, the more potential energy is being produced. At the top of the hill, the train has a huge amount of potential energy, but it has very little kinetic energy. Again, the higher an object is, the higher or the most potential energy. If again you have most potential energy, therefore you have little amount of kinetic energy. As the train accelerates down the hill, the potential energy is converted into kinetic energy. There is very little potential energy at the bottom of the hill, but there is a great amount of kinetic energy. So meaning the lowest, okay, the lowest part or the position means the higher amount of kinetic energy. When does the train on this roller coaster have the most kinetic energy? When it is moving the faster or the fastest? When does it have the least potential energy? At the bottom of the tallest hill. Good job. Now, I have here a train in a hill. We are going to answer some questions. First, Which letter shows the roller coaster with the maximum kinetic energy? Did you say letter E? Let us see. Good job. Second question. Which letter shows the roller coaster with the maximum potential energy? Did you say letter A? Very good. A has more potential energy than G because it is higher compared to G. Next, which letter shows the roller coaster with the least potential energy? Did you say letter E? Good job. Again, the more or the highest potential energy, meaning it has least, but the higher the kinetic energy, meaning it has least potential energy. Fourth, which letter shows the roller coaster with the least kinetic energy? Did you say letter A? Very good. Because letter A has the most potential energy, therefore it has the least kinetic energy. And the last one, which letter shows the roller coaster with a little less kinetic energy than coaster D? Did you say F? Very good. It is letter F. Take note, all energy is divided into two types, potential and kinetic energy. Potential energy is stored energy or energy in position, and then kinetic energy is the energy of a moving object or energy in motion. Energy is never excuse me, energy is never created or destroyed. It is always stored or transferred, and that is the law of conservation of energy. There you have it, guys. I hope you learned something today, and I hope it will be helpful for you. So, are you ready for your paper activity? Let's do this.